That you had a very lovely week. It is a Friday, and of course we are ending the week in style with our Issues at Hand show today. My name is Nowamani. You are welcome to the show. Now remember, when you make some money during the year, during the month, you have to take your family out to enjoy themselves. Please take them to Protea Hotel by Marriott, buy them some lunch. They do have a very beautiful health club. They have a swimming pool, they have sauna and steam bath. Make sure that you take your family to enjoy at Protea Hotel by Marriott in Tebe. But how do you get there? You get there by using roads. We need roads in our country. We need roads in our society, because roads help us to move from one place to another. Roads help us to access the things that we want to access. They help us to come to work. They help us to, connect to everywhere that we want to connect to. And today our topic is the road safety. How exactly are we going to carry ourselves on the roads? How are we supposed to behave? Like, if I am a pedestrian, how am I supposed to walk on the road? Am I supposed to be careful, or am I just supposed to walk carelessly? And if I'm a driver, a motorist, how exactly am I supposed to treat other road users? How exactly am I supposed to treat myself as a road user? Because at the end of the day, life is very precious, and we cannot afford to live carelessly on the roads. It is why we are having a program today discussing road safety, and in studio with me are some very beautiful guests. Their names are Sarah Nduhukire from Traffic and Road Safety Office in the Uganda National Roads Authority, and Superintendent of Police Kentaro Pamela, to discuss road safety in general. You're very welcome, ladies.
Thank you very much, Carol.
All right, I'd like to start with Sarah Nduhukire from UNRA, and to ask what UNRA's mandate is, especially this year that we are coming to the end of it. What is UNRA's mandate?
Good morning, Carol. Good morning, all viewers. My name is Sarah Nduhukire. I'm a Traffic and Road Safety Officer at Uganda National Roads Authority. I'm humbled to be here again. It's not my first time. And we would also want to say thank you so much for seeing this, for having that passion of road safety. Thank you for always allowing us to come and engage with the viewers, with the road users out there.
Thank you.
Now, like you've asked, I will just tell you our mandate as Uganda National Roads Authority. Our mandate is to efficiently develop and maintain a safe and sustainable national road network across the country. We are majorly responsible for highways that you hear about, say Kampala Maraba, Kampala Katuna, Kampala Nimbure. So all those highways that are leading to different borders, it is purely our mandate to develop them and to maintain them in that manner that is usable to the road users.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure in that mandate there are some objectives and achievements or goals that you have. Have you achieved some of those goals this year? And what can you highlight some?
Oh yes, we have. We have. I can maybe bring out live examples of some projects that are ongoing and a few that are completed in a span of the last 5 years or even 3 years. Among the projects that are ongoing, we have Kapchula Swam, very beautiful road. For the people from Eastern, they can testify to that. It is 73 kilometers, and as we talk, it's almost complete. It's more than actually 70% complete. Then we have Rukunjiri Chihihi to our people from Western Uganda. Now we can easily connect from Kampala to Chihihi, Kanungu, Yontamak or through. I don't think that is a little, achievement. We have Busega Mpigi. Busega Mpigi, it's an express, like you see Kampala Entebbe Expressway. I'm sure it hasn't taken shape, so many don't know exactly what is coming up. But it is going. We are going to have our second expressway, like Kampala Entebbe Expressway, and it is taking shape. It is ongoing. It is taking shape. We have so many. We have a park leader. We have roads that are under rehabilitation for motorists who have moved from Mitiana to Mubende. That road is under rehabilitation. So majorly we are trying our level best to keep our roads motorable.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me first ask Superintendent of Police Kentaro Pamela about the mandate of traffic police and how far they've gone with it.
Good morning, our dear viewers. I'm Kentaro Pamela, and I work as the legal officer in Traffic Police. The mandate of Uganda Police on a wider note is to protect life and property. Then when it goes down to traffic police, we enforce the laws of traffic laws to ensure that it fits in our mandate as Uganda Police of protecting people and their property. Yes.
Thank you so much. Let's start with the burning issue, and that is the road accidents. There's a very, very high rate of road accidents, and we would be wondering what is the major cause of road accidents. Both of them are going to answer, but at least let's have Sarah Nduhukire first take us through what she thinks or what could be the major causes of road accidents.
Thank you, Karen. Exactly, that's why we're here. It is so alarming. The situation is, allow me to say, getting out of hand. Because when you see the statistics that Pamela has, you know, and we are all potential candidates to this. You can imagine that I've picked statistics from her. We have accidents, crashes that have happened just between January and June. Those are 6 months. Fatal, it is accounting to be 2,042 lives gone, you know, in just a span of 6 months. Those are so many lives, and we know what the impact it has on our economy. We know what happens in our hospitals when people like this are dying. But also look at the families they are coming from, losing your own person. It is so alarming, and I would want to say that road safety, it is a multi-sector approach. It's not only UNRA, it's not only Uganda Police, and that's why you have always seen us working together, because no one can take it up. So we have to be together with the Ministry of Works, with Uganda Police Force, with UNRA, with Ministry of Health. Now, we have what we call ease in road safety. One is engineering. In this engineering, we are looking at the road environment. Are our roads safe for the road users? But also in engineering, we are looking at the vehicle condition the condition of vehicles. Are our vehicles roadworthy? Now, when you put that aside, we have what we call enforcement, which is purely mandatory Uganda Police Force, and which they are doing well. Our laws being enforced, you know, to curb this. Then after enforcement, we have what we call emergency response. Very important that in an event that an accident has happened, what happens at that scene? How are victims, you know, taken from that scene to the nearest center? Otherwise, so we have emergency response. So to cut this long story short, we need all this is at the same table to put up a strategy and say this is how we have to move. Otherwise, enforcement will be done well, but then you find engineering is lacking. Engineering will be done well, enforcement well, but as long as the emergency response is not improved, then we will see these accidents. But from the little statistics that I've shown you, I also picked that the major causes of those crashes are careless, reckless driving. You know, actually, the Uganda Police Force, from their statistics, put it clear that it is actually careless overtaking that is contributing to 42% of the accidents I've mentioned above. So perhaps road usage, we don't know how to use these roads that the government is giving us. And then that's why we are here, maybe to sensitize or to remind a few drivers, a few motorists, that this is how you should drive on a road network.
Okay. Thank you so much. Superintendent of Police, Pamela, do you have anything to add on the causes of road accidents?
Yes, like my comrade has said, the statistics in the last 6 months are overwhelming. However, I want to start by explaining the way we categorize these road accidents. We categorize them into 3. The first is fatal. Fatal is where after a road crash, a life or lives are lost. The second is serious. Serious is where no life is lost, but injuries are sustained. Then the third is minor, where it is vehicle to vehicle or vehicle to property, say a roadside light or a house or something like that. So according to our statistics so far, we are halfway down the year. We have registered 2,042 road crashes, and those are fatal. We have lost so far 2,042 people. However, the statistics don't stop at that. The implication is bigger than just having the statistics. One of the key highlights, or what we need to take note of, is that the majority of the people who die are in the productive age, usually below 49 years of age. Secondly, is that the effect later is that we have very many orphans left behind, and that creates a high dependency ratio to the government. We find the families after the death of the breadwinners, because majority of the deaths the people who die are male, and these are majorly the breadwinners. So when a family loses a breadwinner, that means that the life is going to change drastically and very negatively, and that still goes back to impacting negatively on the government and the social services. Then the serious injuries registered where people sustained injuries were 6,037. That also has another very big negative implication. The health sector gets overstretched because most of these injuries are usually fractures. It can be even multiple fractures, head injuries, some as bad as open head injuries, and still the statistics of fatal sometimes go higher than what is registered, because some people succumb to their injuries, and as police we don't capture that because our mandate is a bit limited. We do not go back to find out whether the people who sustain injuries either made it or or survived. Still, when it comes to serious injuries, majority of those who make it through hospital are permanently maimed. They will have a leg amputated or even both. Some will have permanent head disabilities, head injuries. Someone will, the brain will stop functioning, meaning that will be the end of his ability to comprehend life. Then others will be probably confined to wheelchairs for the rest of their lives. It still goes back to the fact that it will now also impact on government, because now the money that would have been used to run the family now has to be switched to taking care of this person who has sustained the injuries. Yes. Okay,
thank you. If we look at the statistics like you have mentioned, what exactly are we supposed to do to stop or to curb these vices of maybe overspeeding and different road mistakes that drivers make? I'll ask Pamela.
Okay. One of the measures we suggest, there actually it's a whole spectrum of interventions, but the biggest is that this is more to do with behavior change. I'll use an analogy or an example of that time when the AIDS scourge was at its peak. Even when they would legislate, they brought about the ABC strategy, all that would go back to behavior change. So we implore road users, and at this point I would also want to explain on who the road users are. We have pedestrians are also road users. We have motorists, we have passengers on those vehicles, and on the borders. So when and each of that category has different requirements. For example, a border rider and passenger, in the law, they are supposed to wear crash helmets, because the nature of a border or a motorcycle is that your body is 100% exposed as compared to that who is traveling in a vehicle. Yes. So meaning in the event of a road crash, the chances of sustaining very severe injuries are very, very high. And the body organs, the different body organs play different role, and the moment, say, the head is you get that head trauma, the injury, without a helmet, the chances you making it through are very minimal. They are slim. But with a crash helmet, you will survive, even when probably you lose a limb, but at least your other organs will be functioning. Then the pedestrians, one of the other problems we have is that many pedestrians have put themselves at risk. They will cross at each and every point, of where it is convenient for them. Even where there are traffic lights and then there are those pedestrian lights, the pedestrians will ignore them and cross. And as the pedestrian is crossing, at another point the traffic light has signaled green. So now the green light has released the vehicle. This one where is the pedestrian walkway, it has flashed red, but he has ignored it, and now he has put himself at risk, then ends up doing what? Being knocked down, and another catastrophe happens. So we have enough legislation on traffic. Now the biggest emphasis now we are putting forward is of behavior change, and like my colleague Sarah will explain, we have also now come up with what we call now Fika Salama Extra. Previously we had Fika Salama. Now we are in the process of unveiling Fika Salama Extra, and what I would tell the road users is that with the last word of extra, that means it's going to come with an extra biting hand. It will not be the other usual. There will be a change in approach. There will be a change in the way we shall deal with the offenders, because what we have on record is not good. So meaning we also have to step up to another level, take it a notch higher.
Okay. Yeah. Before we get to Fika Salama Extra, I would like to get Sarah's opinion on how road users should carry themselves in order not to have these many accidents happening.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Carol, and thank you, Pamela. She has already put it out there that the most contributing factor of these road crashes is human factor. So in our decisions, in every category of road user, she explained, when you're using the road, you have to be extra careful. If you're a driver and they're telling you the speed limit on, for example, Kamparentebe Expressway is 100 kilometers per hour. Then for you just want to drive way beyond that. Then you're putting your life at stake and the lives of others at stake. So we have to, I like the Toy Deco program. I'm sure once in a while you watch it. Everyone has, you have to say, but really, what is wrong? And every time you leave your house to step in the road, please come with a sober mind that your life can be gone and the life of another person or others can also be gone. So we are here to say maybe we need to watch our speeds. That's number one. That's what I've seen. If you're at a low speed, there are high chances of controlling this car that you're driving. In case of any child crossing the road somewhere, or you meet a cow somewhere, you have chances of controlling it. But if you're at high speeds, then its stopping will also take you time. Reaction period will increase, and then you might end up causing that accident. Then I know this country is going into science and we have no choice but to follow. From the crashes that were projected by police there is something they had projected. If I can maybe have it, it's a graph showing some causes. Yes, exactly that one. You can see causes of crashes. This is again in a 6 period time, that is January to June this year, where 2,042 lives have been lost. But if you can say that chart, that chart is showing the possible causes. You can see number one is careless overtaking. And I want to emphasize there. I want to emphasize on the first two contributions to these road crashes. One is careless overtaking and speeding. So if we can curb down on those two, so everyone who is talking about road safety, if they can focus on these two and change the mindset of us, the road users, then we are going to see this graph coming down, because it is really too high. Actually, same statistics show that speeding and careless overtaking, they are contributing 42% of all crashes that happened, the 2,042 crashes that happened fatal. So on that matter, we are thinking maybe we need to come up with programs to help human beings on how best. Maybe they don't understand some features of this road. Maybe they don't understand these signs that we put. So this is a high time that we need now to design our programs to fit within those two careless overtaking and speeding. Perhaps we need to inform people where should they overtake from and where shouldn't. Road markings are there. I know a few road markings might not be there. Apologies. That also comes with resources that are at hand, but we are trying our level best to make sure that our roads are communicating to you through road markings. Speeding, we try as much as possible to put speed limits there. Because if speed limits are not there, then also enforcement becomes too tricky for them. So whereas we have a challenge of road vandalism, you put and communities come and vandalize, but we are not seated, we are trying to find out why people interested in this and who are those culprits taking road signs. It is a criminal, it's a crime, and we call upon everyone to watch who is taking road signs, because we know them. This is our Uganda, they are brothers and sisters. So maybe they don't understand that these road signs are there to communicate to the road users, and in an event that the road is praying, then the road is not communicating to you. Everyone will be driving at the speed they so wish. So I think at a later time we have some road markings that are...
No, actually, let's have them now from control room so that we can deal with that once and for all.
Together with Pamela, we could go through those road markings
and understand how they work.
Understand for the viewers, please pay attention. You could learn one or two things that would save your life and save the lives of others.
Okay, as they project, there we go. Let's start with that one.
So this one, I have about the major road markings that we really need to pay attention to. This is called M03, that is a technical spec name. It's a broken dividing line. Always you'll find they are yellow in color. We are not choosing yellow because of other reasons that people could think of. This is the standard, and at that point they are telling you, if you're driving and this dotted line is there, it is telling you it's telling you actually don't cross, but you may cross, coming to another in Uganda we keep left. So they are saying you can come to the right if it is safe to do so.
Okay.
It is not a must that you must come this other side. And at that moment where you find that means engineers, always it's on a straight stretch, that your visibility is proper. You can see perhaps half a kilometer ahead. And then they are saying, whereas if you can see and the road is clear for you, you can decide to do what? To come this side and maybe overtake whatever is there and go back. But we emphasize only when it is safe.
Okay, the next one. We do have a number of graphs and of road markings, and I was asking for the next one after that one.
Yes, this is the M04. It is a combination of continuous and broken dividing lane. I'm sure, Carol, you've seen this, and of course for her it's a must. She has seen it.
Yeah.
So here you consider the line that is near you, depending on which direction you're going to. If the line near you is this continuous line, please don't dare overtake. Don't dare cross to come to this other line. But if your nearest line is this dotted, for you have clear view, and if it is safe for you to do so, please overtake and go back to that side.
Okay.
But again, I emphasize if it is safe to overtake.
Okay.
Yes.
The next one?
The next one is continuous and the broken dividing lane. I think it needs to come out to it. Okay. At this point, it is telling you don't overtake. Don't overtake. Don't cross the line, coming to this other. Stay in your line. Because again, where you find this, the visibility always is limited. It's measured maybe in the curves. They know that by the time you try to come to this other side, your visibility will be impaired. You will not see what is ahead. So they advise you to keep on your side. That's basically what that continuous and continuous line tells you. Don't dare to cross to this other lane. I think we have 2 more left.
Yes, there's that one.
This one, I'm sure people of Kaba, Lake Solo, those areas where we have such terrain, where it's mountainous, where we have majorly we limit people like this. You'll find that in the middle of the road you have 2 continuous lines, and at this point we are emphasizing the point that please, you must not cross. You must not, because it is so dangerous. It is in a curve, it's in a corner. Be observant from now when you're traveling and it's in a corner. You'll find we've put for you 2 double lines. It is emphasizing the point that at that point, don't make a decision of crossing to this other side. Because if you do that, like I said, you will not be able to see what is coming from ahead of you. And we've registered so many crashes, head-ons. That's how head-ons happen, head-on crashes. Because you carelessly overtake. You're not sure of what is coming ahead, but you go ahead and overtake. And in the process, before you get back to your lane, then the vehicle that is coming opposite you has already reached you. So we explore road users, we are cautioning road users that this is the right time, understand those road markings, what they mean. Road markings, their purpose is to control, warn, or guide road users. You know, and their main advantage is that they give that continuous message to you. Rather than a sign which you will find 50 kilometers per hour when in a built-up section. When you leave it, you know, we have many things to think about. So you're more likely to forget it. But if you focus on the road markings, they will continuously give you that guiding information. There's a last one, I think. Yes, zigzag. This is a new one. It is you'll find it where we have pedestrian crossings. Okay, here it says approaching a zebra crossing. Initially it was a zebra crossing, but I think we've changed it to pedestrian crossing facility because maybe we don't have zebras crossing the road. I need to find out more. But here, should you meet this sign, it's zigzag, you know, it's zigzag on both approaches where we have a zebra crossing, like most people know, but it's a pedestrian crossing. It's warning you that please reduce your speed and watch, because it is a pedestrian crossing facility. Like she said, if pedestrians became more careful and knew where to cross from, okay, you could find on some road networks that the crossing facilities may not be sufficient, but we are improving. We keep improving as our population goes on. But it's also where we have pedestrian crossings. It is funny that you put it there and people prefer to cross from another risk area. You know, that's what Pamela talked about. So that sign, it is informing motorists that if you're driving and you approach it zigzag, please come down, reduce your speed. Because anytime a pedestrian will be crossing, just a few maybe meters away from that. So give a chance pedestrians to cross wherever you meet that.
All right.
So I'm sure maybe we could pick 1 or 2 that we didn't know. We'll keep highlighting on most of them. We'll keep actually echoing ourselves because learning doesn't take place in one day. And that's why we said every stakeholder who is in road safety, I think we need to look at, like they have said, careless overtaking and speeding are the major causes of accidents. Maybe we need to attack it from there. Okay. I'm sure Pamela have a lot to add on.
Yeah.
She's a custodian of enforcement.
We'll listen to her when it comes to the road markings and why people don't respect road signs anyway.
Thank you very much. The challenge we have is that we, as road users, we are looking out more for our convenience than respecting the law, so that all of us use the road in a harmonious manner. We have a trend where a motorist will not stop for a pedestrian to cross, yet in the law, under the rules of the road regulations, the motorist has an obligation to stop for a pedestrian to cross, whether there is a pedestrian crossing or not. But here, when a motorist is approaching a point where a pedestrian or pedestrians are crossing, he will not slow down. So it is up to the pedestrian to cross very fast, and which is very, very dangerous, because as the pedestrian is running across the road, then he or she will bump into now another border that is also not about to slow down, and then a catastrophe happens at that point. So if we could all take it up upon ourselves, still in the law, under the rules of the road regulations, every road user has an obligation to take due care while using the road. And like I highlighted earlier, road users are many. We have the motorists, the cyclists, the pedestrians. So the obligation is not on one part only and leaving out the other. It is on every person. So we should avoid scenarios where we are looking out for our convenience. Like Sarah said, you'll find, say, at Nduhukire traffic lights, we have a couple of pedestrian lights. But someone will actually choose to cross the road at the junction itself. And it's very risky to cross at the road, at the wider part of the road, because you have vehicles coming in and moving in opposite directions at different times, and you will not be able to know which side has been released to move and which one has stopped. And you expect a driver to stop, yet that the traffic light has signaled green. So this still goes as law enforcement. Sometimes as we carry out investigations, we have scenarios where some people complain that, you see, but I was, you have, the other one was the one to blame. But when you look at the circumstances, you realize that actually the victim was the one in wrong. And there definitely you'll have no one to do what? To punish. Because there's what we call in law, voluntary assumption of risk. You have clearly put your life at risk, and then when the worst happens, you want to apportion blame, yet in the circumstances, you are the one to blame. So we implore people, road users, and now that we are heading into the last half of the year, where we register a very big number of road accidents, we can lower these statistics if we all work together, and that's why we are moving to bring every stakeholder. We are taking on a multi-sectoral approach so that we put our efforts together. Carol, like in life, you cannot, if you want to box someone, you have to make a fist. Yeah. And in making a fist, that means all your 5 fingers are folded. Yeah. And that's, if you want to deliver a heavy punch, you will surely do what? Deliver a heavy punch, because now all your fingers are clenched together. You can't box someone with just a finger like this. You have to. So now that is the approach we are taking. And for those who may not heed to what we are saying now, it may not be good for you. We are going to inconvenience you. For example, the operations that are going on now of traffic police, the motorcyclists, if you don't have a driver's license, it's no longer the EPS fine. It is a custodial one, which we are taking you to court, meaning you're going to be inconvenienced. Spend maybe a day in cells, then the following day you're produced in court. If you're unfortunate, then you're remanded. So we are going to reduce, like I've said, it's going to be a different approach because of what the statistics look like now. Okay. Yeah.
Talking about the multi-sectoral approach, I think the media is part of the sectors that are going to help curb this vice, and we are here doing our work because this is all we can do. We can only bring these people to tell you and of course sensitize you about all this. Now we're going to go to Operation Fika Salama, but before we do that, let's take a very short break. We return with more. Don't go away, it's still Issues at Hand. You're welcome back to Issues at Hand. We are here discussing road safety, and we are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. To get there, you must use a road, the Entebbe Road. It is located right after the airport, and they have very many services, continental dishes for food, as well as sleeping in case you would like to spend the night with your friends or family. That is Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Now, on 15th July 2022, police announced reinstatement of Operation Fika Salama, among other interventions, in a bid to contain fatalities on Ugandan roads. 2 months before then, over 250 people had been killed on Ugandan roads. Now, pioneered in 2016 by the Uganda National Roads Authority and enforced by traffic police and other sister security agencies, Operation Fika Salama was a special intervention aimed at checking on errant drivers on major highways. My question to Superintendent of Police Pamela would be, why did Fika Salama stop in the first place, and what is this new Fika Salama Extra, if you may shed a light on it?
Thank you very much. Fika Salama operations did not stop. It's just that they were always unveiled towards the peak of the festive season. because that's where the highest number of road crashes would be registered. But now we realize that now it's not even about the festive season of between October and December, probably up to January. It's now the accidents are littered throughout the year. Because if by June this year we're having about 2,042 deaths, that means if we are to go by the same statistics, that means we shall have lost by the end of the year about 4,000 people. But we don't have to wait and just keep these computations going on. We must make an intervention, but this time not targeted to the festive season only. It is an operation that is going to be carried out throughout the year to curb these not nice statistics. So that's where we are going to, and so far we have registered success, because now Fika Salama Extra is going to be a multi-sectoral approach, an operation that is done by very many stakeholders, unlike Fika Salama, which was by traffic police only. And so far with Fika Salama Extra in its early stages, so far we've registered success that our leadership of both UNRA and traffic police was able to achieve the lifting of the ban on, rather the suspension of the use of breath analyzers, commonly known as Kawunyemu. It was suspended at the time of COVID because of the way it is used. There were fears that it would cause contamination and infection because of the tubes that are used and the machine. But I'd like to highlight that this gadget, when each individual is given a newly wrapped tube to use to blow into a machine, there's no single tube that is shared, and it is even discarded in the presence of the person who has used it. But there are a bit of some false issues being sent out there, but one day we shall bring someone with a machine here to display it, and so people can understand how it's used. Okay. So soon we are going to have the drink drive operations reinstated. The suspension on the use of breath analyzers was lifted last week. So now we are preparing ourselves with the modalities, the formalities on how we are going to go about it, and soon we shall have it back. Okay. It's thanks to the Fika Salama Extra operation.
All right. There's a 2 million fine for overspeeding these days. Is that it? It used to be 200,000, but now it's 2 million shillings if you're caught overspeeding.
Yes, it is. It is still 200,000, and it is now also 2 million shillings. Why? The 200,000 is what falls under EPS, Express Penalty Scheme, and in the law, Express Penalty Scheme falls under what we call punishment without prosecution, meaning that you will be punished, but not by not taking you to court. You pay a fine instantly, or after the ticket says you have to pay within 28 days. After 28 days, if you've not paid, there will be a 50% surcharge. Definitely, when you've not paid that penalty and you're stopped, you'll be inconvenienced. So that's one form of punishment. The new amendment of 2022 of the Traffic and Road Safety Act introduced a 2 million shillings fine for speeding, but that is upon conviction. Conviction is only secured in courts of law. So if you're arrested and charged with speeding beyond the prescribed speed limits and you're arraigned in court, the judicial officer has the discretion of giving you that pecuniary punishment of a fine. But 2 million is the ceiling. It's not that once you're arraigned in court, you're going to be fined 2 million shillings. It is the upper ceiling. So you can even be fined 200,000 in court, as long as it does not exceed 2 million. Yes, so we still have both running concurrently, and will be applied at the discretion of the officer in the field. Yes.
So how should people avoid being in trouble with Operation Fika Salama enforcers?
Still, it goes back to behavioral change, because when you respect the law, or when you abide by the law, you not be on the other side of the law. And sometimes as a country, the country cannot legislate on each and everything. Sometimes it takes our conscience that as you're driving, you see a child, a school-going child, who is trying to find his way on the other side of the road. What would your conscience tell you? Stop and then let this child or this pedestrian cross. So we cannot keep legislating on each and everything. But some of these things, I don't use the word common sense, but we need to apply our conscience as we use the roads, that the life that is before you also matters as much as yours does. Yes.
Thank you so much. The Operation Fika Salama is set to start on Monday next week, and we are looking forward to seeing what exactly the stakeholders have in place for us. And if you are a driver out there, please be very, very careful, because this is the time that the police is going to enforce all its power or all its manpower to make sure that some of these vices stop happening, or that some of these causes of road accidents are minimalized or controlled. Next, we are going to go to the Kampala-Entebbe Express Highway, and I'd like Sarah Nduhukire to explain to us a few of some of the issues that pertain the Kampala Express Highway. It is a new way, one of a kind, and of course, what is the conduct expected on this road, and what about it in general?
Thank you, Karen. Allow me maybe to add on what Pamela has just said about Fika Salama.
Okay.
It's just what can we avoid as road users not to be, to be caught by police. And then this Fika Salama extra, let's not say it's not police. I think she's put it clearly. It's a multi-sector approach. We have police, we have Ministry of Health. Because of that emergency care response, they're on board. We have Ministry of Works and Transport. We have UNRA. We have media, which you actually, for you, proactive. You started with us. So all this, and this is not the ceiling. We are also open to other entities that will keep coming in, because we accept that private sectors are doing much great work there, but we'll keep adding them in. But as we start, we said there have been closed meetings happening on approaches on what to do. So all this is now one body. Where you'll find them, you'll find someone, an official from UNRA. You'll find them with someone from Ministry of Health. But back to your question, I think to me, if you can avoid speed, if you can divorce speed, you'll be safe. You'll be safe. Please be safe by reducing on your speed. If you can avoid drink driving, then that Kawunyem Pamela is telling you about, you will survive it. If you can use seat belts, which are very important. What we are telling you is not a luxury, by the way, because if you're drunk, then your conscious, your sense, your judgment level reduces. If you're speeding, like you said, your reaction time in the case of stopping increases, and that gives a chance to a crash. If you're not in your seat belt, then if you get a crash, there are minimal chances of you surviving. So if you can avoid those, then this Fika Salama is not only targeting motorists, we are also for borders. We are looking at helmets. We are getting people without reflective jackets. So it's not targeting one road user category. It's targeting all road users. Quickly, I will run back to what you asked me. Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, a very nice road, by the way.
Very beautiful road.
Yes, I think very beautiful. We should be grateful to this government for delivering that road, and we pray hard that we get more expresses coming up, because there is movement. Now, this is a road that leads us to Entebbe National, to the airport.
Yes.
And why it was constructed, it was because of that airport majorly, because most business happen there. We have many people coming in and out, and economically it makes sense. So now that it is on, the problem again will come back with road user behavior. The road is nice. You have 2 lanes taking traffic, but don't forget that in Uganda we keep left, and even at the express we keep left. People who are driving in the inner lane on the right, you're doing wrong thing, and you're the root cause. You're contributing to the accidents that are happening at the expressway. At the expressway, regardless of which machine you have, regardless of that powerful Subaru you think it is powerful, you're bound to keep left. I'm not attacking Subaru drivers. One time I was there. So if we can keep left, please use the inner lane, which is right, when you want to overtake, and go back to the left, but not insisting, not driving on the right, on the inner lane all through. You're annoying the people who are following you, so they are forced even to overtake you, from now the left hand side, which is wrong. The other thing, that most accidents that happen there, you might ask yourself, why are you putting more pressure on the express? We are putting pressure because this is our image to this country. If we get it wrong, then we are sending out, message to the world that really Uganda, we are not safe. The speed, again, the speeding is too much at the expressway. Allow me to inform the road users who are watching or listening that the maximum speed limit at Kampala-Entebbe Expressway is 100 kilometers per hour. Please divorce speed. And we actually ask, we are telling you, don't even aim for the maximum. I mean, why should you again be at 100, which is maximum? There's a reason they told you. So I've had engagements with people one-on-one. I say the road is nice. You even at 100, you can't feel it. Please make sure you're monitoring the speed gauge, that speed meter, because it tells you at what, you might not feel it because it's nice, yes. So they tell you that if you're above that speed limit, it will be hard for you to stop your car in case of something happening on the road. And with this Fika Salama Extra, allow me to say that it is targeting Kampala-Entebbe Expressway as well.
Okay.
We will not intercept you when you're in. We will allow you enter, and we are not chasing people from using it. But at some point, we'll be monitoring your speed. We have cameras on that road. We have some cameras. UNRA has cameras there. Ministry of Uganda Police Force has cameras there. So in this multi-sector approach, we've harmonized that we can use police camera where maybe UNRA camera is not covering, or vice versa, to curb this, because someone will be seated in a control room somewhere in a bull somewhere, and they are able to see that motor vehicle number UBF 23 is driving above 100 kilometers per hour. And what we've done, this is open to the public. We don't want victims, by the way. If we can avoid, let's avoid. So that's why we are here telling you the approach we are going to use. We are going to plant roadblocks, at the exit of the expressway. We will be monitoring. We are trying to use the technology that this government has invested in, these cameras. They can do wonders and miracles. And we'll be monitoring and seeing the speed you're driving at. There will be communication between someone who is monitoring you at a certain control room and with the enforcement on ground at the exit. As you exit, if you meet Pamela flagging you, please comply. Because again, if you don't comply, you will not be solving a problem. So this is what is going to happen. We'll be monitoring from the express. If you're above 100 kilometers per hour, stand warned that you might meet Pamela at the exit and she will flag you. Okay. And if she flags you, then you know what happened. She has told you about fines. Of course, there will be those fines
and inconvenience.
And inconvenience. Actually, we shall try to inconvenience. Imagine you have someone you're taking to the airport, or yourself, you're running to the airport and you're inconvenienced for that 30 minutes. Your flight will, you might miss your flight. We don't want to get there. That's why we are in social media telling everyone, watch out, this is coming. But we are doing it to save your life and to save the lives of others that you could put in danger. Expressway is we are actually encouraging people to use it. It is a very fast road, but in this, people have sat and relaxed. You have someone to pick at the airport, you're in Kampala, and you wait for this person to land, touch ground, and then he calls you and says, I've touched, and then you quickly say, that's the time you want to set off because you think expressway is there. We are telling you plan your journeys well. Expressway is there, but plan your journeys well. Don't wait for your person to land and then you set off from Sega. You'll be risking your life and the lives of others. Okay. So I'm sure time is not on our side. Thank you so much. But those are some of the parameters we'll be looking at. And we are doing it with good faith and with intention of saving lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Because of time, we will not be able to go beyond here, but I hope you have heard it that we have to be careful on our roads. In case you're a road user out there, please watch out. Please be careful. Do not fall prey to the police because, first of all, it will be an inconvenience. Secondly, you will have to spend money. And third, your time will be going. So why don't comply to the rules now so that later you can avoid anything that comes with not complying. My name is Nowamani. Thank you so much for being here, part of Issues at Hand. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.